Hi guys, welcome to Conversations with AnouMe. As we grow and raise our level of awareness, our ability to notice our own toxic behavior or our own junk and other people's junk increases.
Yeah.
How to tell whether it's ours or someone else's?
Okay. It's an interesting question because that is part of raising your self-awareness. So when you raise your self-awareness, you start to notice things about yourself, right? Which are maybe toxic behaviors or junk or the things that you have trouble with. So you start working on them and addressing them. Okay. And then what happens is that you may come into situations where somebody else is working through something similar. So when you both come in together, it's almost like that toxic behavior or that thinking or that junk or whatever you're dealing with kind of intensifies, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you may start to feel overwhelmed, right? In that situation that I've just described, it's a bit of both of yours. You know, it's a bit of yours and it's a bit of the other person.
Yeah.
You're working through it. And the way to kind of tell is just ask yourself, you know, is this mine or is it someone else's? You know, and you might get yes to both those things. Yes, it's yours, and yes, it's somebody else's. Right? So that's one situation that can make you feel overwhelmed. Okay. Another example is that you work through your own junk, you're at a good place, you're comfortable with it, you know how to manage it. And if it comes up in situations again, you've got a way of managing it, basically. And then maybe somebody else comes along that's also hasn't yet quite released that aspect of themselves and then working through it. So they may come in to your lives. And what you might feel is that, again, it will feel like an overwhelming sense again. And then you start doubting yourself, thinking, is this, is this happening again? I thought I'd, uncovered this. Is this mine? Oh my goodness, it's happening again. I can't believe it. And you might start going to a cycle of doubting yourself, and it's quite negatively against yourself. So again, ask the question, is this mine or someone else's? Right? In that case, it feels more like it's someone else's, but until you start asking those questions, you wouldn't know. Because it's a very similar situation, right, there, where you process one level of junk, somebody else comes along and they've done their work, right, and they've processed the next level of their junk. So what happens, that triggers some of your own stuff to come out, and then you start feeling the same thing again. So there's 3 different types of situation. All of them are great because they're all great for your growth in awareness, right? And because it feels exactly the same to a certain degree, right? You will either start questioning yourself or start doing the work. So the key thing is to kind of distinguish, where is it actually coming from? Is this coming from within me? Is this coming from someone else? Just even asking that question, you'll get a response straight away. And sometimes you don't get a response straight away. So it's just a matter of just sitting with it and being okay with it. And just say, okay, fine, that's mine. Because I think if somebody else hears this, they may say, okay, that's nothing to do with me, that's that person.
Yeah.
Right? It's quite easy for us to do that.
And just one question, going back to what you said, ask yourself whether this is mine or someone else's. Is there a different sensation or different feel that you get in your body when you ask? Probably I'm approaching it too much with my head, but if you could describe it, simple as that.
The best way that I can describe it for myself, and it's going to be different for everyone else. And so to try and look for this within yourself, it may not necessarily work, because it is about, when you ask that question, it's also helping you get to know yourself better. So you've got to listen out for your own responses. Okay. So sometimes it could be a type of sensation in your body, right? It could be a sinking feeling if it's yours. It could be an uplifting feeling if it's not yours, for example. But it could be the other way around for somebody else, right? only until you start experimenting and exploring that you're not going to know which way works for you or what the signals are for you.
Correct.
So it's not going to be one shoe that fits all. So sometimes for me, it's just like, totally, this is not yours, this is not yours, before I even get a chance to answer the question. That's someone else's, and I can see it straight away. So it's almost, it doesn't merge with me at all, because I've got a radar that's so far out that I can tell, actually, it's got nothing to do with me. That's that other person just doing their stuff. And I take none of that on board. I'm fully aware of it while it's happening, because many of us, we're not even aware that it's happening until it's happened.
Yeah. And does that mean that it doesn't trigger you then, since it's not yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Love it. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. And as always, till the next CWA, drop us your questions if you have any. Bye-bye.
Bye.